shy with death is. Top floor, if you alone will leave you breathless.
Welcome to the suck.
God show me the
Jarhead unfolds as a deeply introspective and psychologically driven war story that shifts the focus away from traditional battlefield action and instead immerses the audience in an emotional landscape of soldiers preparing for a conflict that often feels just out of reach. From the very beginning, the film establishes a tone that is both grounded and reflective, presenting military life not as a constant stream of combat, but as a complex environment filled with anticipation, discipline, and underlying tension. The atmosphere is shaped by a sense of waiting where the expectation of war becomes as significant as the war itself. The narrative centers on a young recruit who enters the military with a mixture of curiosity, ambition, and a desire to find purpose. His journey begins with the structured and demanding environment of training, where individuality is stripped away and replaced with uniformity and obedience. This transformation is portrayed not just as a physical process but as a psychological shift, as he learns to adapt to a system that prioritizes control, precision, and hierarchy. The early stages of his experience highlight the contrast between expectation and reality, setting the tone for the story that follows. As he becomes part of a specialized unit, the focus shifts toward preparation for a conflict that is building in the distance. The soldiers are trained extensively, conditioned to respond instantly and effectively when the moment arrives. However, as time passes, the anticipated action remains elusive, creating a growing sense of frustration and restlessness. This delay becomes a central theme, emphasizing how the absence of combat can be just as challenging as its presence. The tension does not come from immediate danger, but from the uncertainty of when and how that danger will manifest. The environment plays a crucial role in shaping the narrative, with vast and barren landscapes that reinforce the feeling of isolation. The endless stretches of desert create a visual and emotional emptiness, where the monotony of the surroundings mirrors the internal state of the characters. This setting becomes more than just a backdrop. It acts as a reflection of the soldiers, amplifying their boredom, anxiety, and anticipation. The harsh conditions further add to the strain, testing their endurance and resilience. Within this setting, the relationships between the soldiers become a focal point. Their interactions are marked by a mix of camaraderie, tension, and dark humor, all of which serve as coping mechanisms in an environment that offers little distraction. These bonds are not always harmonious, as the stress of their situation can lead to conflict and misunderstanding. However, there is an underlying sense of unity, a recognition that they are all part of the same, facing the same uncertainties together. The film delves deeply into the psychological impact of waiting for combat. The constant readiness without release creates a unique of pressure, where the mind begins to fill the void left by the absence of action. Imagination and fear take on greater significance, leading to moments of introspection and doubt. The soldiers are caught between their training, which prepares them for violence, and their reality, which offers no outlet for it. This imbalance becomes a source of internal, shaping their behavior and interactions. Leadership within the unit is portrayed with nuance, showing the challenges of maintaining discipline and morale in such. Those in positions of authority must navigate the fine line between enforcing order and understanding the mental state of their subordinates. Decisions are not always straightforward, as they must account for both the practical and emotional needs of the group. This dynamic adds another layer to the narrative, highlighting the complexity of command in an environment defined by uncertainty. As the story progresses, the anticipation of combat reaches a peak, creating a sense of urgency that contrasts sharply with the earlier monotony. The possibility of action brings both excitement and fear, as the soldiers are forced to confront the reality of what they have been preparing for. This moment serves as a turning point where expectations collide with reality, and the true nature of their experience becomes clear. One of the most striking aspects of the narrative is its exploration of identity. The protagonist's journey is not just about his role as a soldier, but about his understanding of himself within that role. The process of becoming part of a military unit challenges his perceptions, forcing him to reconcile his individuality with the collective identity imposed upon him. This struggle adds depth to the story, making it as much about personal growth as it is about external circumstances. The film also examines the influence of external factors such as media and perception on the soldier's experience. Images and narratives from outside their immediate environment shape their expectations and understanding of the conflict. This interaction between perception and reality creates a sense of disconnect, as what they see and hear does not always align with what they experience. This theme adds a layer of commentary on how war is represented and understood. Visually, the film emphasizes realism and restraint, using its setting and cinematography to create an immersive experience. The use of natural lighting and expansive shots captures the scale of the environment, while more intimate scenes focus on the characters and their emotions. This balance between scale and intimacy enhances the storytelling, allowing the audience to connect with both the broader context and the individual experiences. The pacing of the narrative reflects its themes, with long stretches of quiet tension punctuated by moments of intensity. This rhythm reinforces the sense of waiting, making the eventual moments of action feel more impactful. The film does not rely on constant movement, but instead builds its tension through atmosphere and character development. Sound design plays a subtle but effective role, with periods of silence that emphasize isolation and anticipation. When sound is introduced, it often serves to heighten the emotional impact of a scene, drawing attention to the contrast between calm and chaos. This careful use of audio contributes to the immersive quality of the film. As the story moves toward its conclusion, the focus shifts to reflection and understanding. The experiences of the characters are not defined by traditional measures of success or failure, but by the impact they have had on their perception of themselves and the world around them. The absence of a conventional resolution reinforces the idea that their journey is ongoing, shaped by what they have experienced. The ending leaves a lasting impression by emphasizing the emotional and psychological aspects of the narrative. It does not seek to provide clear answers, but instead invites the audience to consider the complexities of the experience. This approach aligns with the overall tone of the film, which prioritizes introspection over spectacle. At its core, Jarhead is a story about the unseen side of war, focusing on the mental and emotional challenges faced by those who are prepared for conflict but not always engaged in it. It explores themes of identity and the human need for purpose, presenting a perspective that is both unique and thought-provoking. The narrative challenges traditional expectations, offering a portrayal that is grounded in realism and emotional depth. The characters remain central to this exploration, their journeys reflecting a range of responses to the same circumstances. Their experiences highlight the diversity of human reaction, showing how individuals cope with uncertainty and pressure in different ways. This focus on character ensures that the story remains engaging and relatable. In the end, Jarhead stands as a powerful and introspective examination of military life, capturing the tension between expectation and reality in a way that resonates deeply. It offers a narrative that is less about the spectacle of war and more about its psychological impact, creating a story that lingers long after it has ended.